All right. For those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we get going, I got a favor to ask all of you. If you cannot send me text messages while I'm up here, I would very much appreciate that, because when you're hosting events like this and you're moving around and all of a sudden somebody sends you a message, whoa, you get a big wall of text just like that right in your face, and it's a bit like hitting a brick wall, and it can really throw you off. So I'd appreciate it if you guys don't do that. Also, if you guys can stay off of the stage area here, this way, nobody blocks this big display behind me, and it gives me a little bit of room to move around, do the whole hosting thing, right? Now, also, if I can ask you guys to look in your menu wheel there, you're going to see at the very top of that, you're going to see a microphone icon. And when that microphone icon is red, it looks kind of like this right here, down here on the bottom. When that's red like that, well, that means that you mute it and we can't hear anything that's happening in your environment. So if somebody comes in your space and says, hey, are you still on that thing? You feel free to answer them, because we're not going to hear that, right? Likewise, if you have a barking dog or something like that, you're not going to face social ruin back in the campfire by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its quest time, right? That wouldn't be good. Now, just because you're muted does not mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice that you have a pink cheeked smiley face in your menu wheel. And when you click on this, it offers you a wide variety of options with which to express yourself. You're going to notice, like, if I share something really deep and powerful and meaningful and building up inside you can just let it out, let it flow, just like that, right? Maybe I got some backup dancers backstage, right? And, they come out and we break into It's Quest Time the musical, and you're all very impressed at the production value. You can, throw up the applause I live for, and I can take a moment to drink it all in because it feels good, right? Also, if I ask you guys a yes or no question, you can say yes by smiling like this. You could say no by frowning like this. And I bet you that Sammy thought she was booing, but no, that just means no. So I'm not really clear why you're saying no. But okay, if I say something funny and you want to show me that you're laughing, you do a silly face emoji like this, right? That can happen, right? And then there's this. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis. We're going to use this, right, not to ask questions or raise a hand like that. We're going to use this to let me know if there's a problem. This is going to be our sacred pact. This is going to be our bond between me and you, the audience, right? We're going to, if, for example, like, I'm up here and moving my hands around like this, right? And all of a sudden you think, whoa, he looks very animated, but there's no sound coming out of him. I can't hear him. You might want to know about a thing like that. So you put the hand up. And if I see just one of them going like that, I'm probably just going to keep on going. But if I see 5 going up at once, I know there's a problem. Like, maybe the mods have had enough. Maybe I've hosted one quest time too many, and they finally snap and they set the stage on fire. Don't laugh, that has happened. And I don't know that the stage is on fire. And you guys got to let me know, because that's our pact. That's our bond, right? All right. Now, you'll notice there's an X in the middle of this panel. That's going to put the panel away, but it's a really good idea to leave this panel open during events like this, because it lets me know, it gives me some feedback, but more importantly, it lets the people around you know what you're experiencing. So if the person next to you starts going like this, that means they found something funny, right? And you may not agree. You might be like, that's not funny at all. I'm going to go stand over here. I don't know what's with that guy. That's very disturbing. So, you can just do that. That's cool. All right, now, while we got those panels open, let me ask you guys some questions. First of all, Quest Time is an event for Oculus Quest users. But this does not mean that, basically everybody is welcome, right? Everybody can come. And if you're on a device, maybe you'll pick up some tips and information. Maybe you're thinking about getting a quest yourself. So while you got that emoji panel open, let me see some hearts if you're on a quest right now. Show me some love if you're on a quest. All right? Or put your hands up and move around. Get animated. Let me see. Let me see how many quest users we got here today. All right, good. That's a lot. I like seeing that. That's excellent. How many of you are new to the quest? You got your quest recently. Any new quest users here today? Some smiley faces, maybe, some hands up. Show me you're into it. All right, you got a few new users. How many are new Altspace users? How many are new to Altspace? Any new Altspace users? Okay, we got, oh, wow. Okay, well, welcome to Altspace. You guys are going to love it here. A lot of cool stuff. Great bunch of people. So let's see. How many of you have changed over from an Oculus Go to an Oculus Quest? And this is, still kind of a relatively new experience for you. All right, few. Okay, and yeah, look at that. Look at that. In the back, we got Michael, great name, by the way, puts up both his hands like this because now he can, right? All right, awesome. All right, cool. All right, now let's see what else we got here. All right, now when I was waiting for my quest to arrive, right? I was just coming over from an Oculus Go, and as you know, or you may not know this, but on the Go you have the one controller, so you only have that one hand, right? Now I grew up in Brooklyn, so I'm used to expressing myself with my hands a lot. But when I was in Altspace, all I could really do was this, right? And that just meant basically I didn't feel like I was expressing myself as fully as I could. So I couldn't wait to get this other controller, right? I couldn't wait for this thing to arrive. But when it did, I took a good look at these controllers, and you know what? Those are a lot of buttons, right? It's a lot to take in. It can be a little overwhelming. Don't worry, it takes only about a couple days to about a week to get really used to it. What I like to do is I like to go over this stuff so people can get like a handle on the controllers and they can skill up. If you're not, if you've been around for a little while and you are used to being on the Quest, don't worry. We do some movement exercises to make it fun, and this way everybody can have a good time while everybody kind of trains up together, right? All right, so let's take a good look at some of this. Now, listen, if you're here today, you know some of the basics, right? If you're on, you know that the left thumbstick's going to move you around like this, and the right thumbstick's going to turn you in these circles, and when you combine them, you get these big, elaborate circles that make my presentation so much more dramatic. If everybody could do this, go in these big, elaborate circles, because this way, when I look out, it's going to look like you guys are ballroom dancing. Let me get a look at this. All right, that's awesome. I always say I wish you guys could see this, and now you can. You'll notice we've got Raven Eye floating up in the air. That's our YouTube camera, and so about a week or so, this will be up on YouTube. And if you want to feel Altspace famous, you just turn around and start waving at the camera right there. We've got Fanny Balls in the green here. We've got What Up Peeps in the blue. We've got UFO Robot over here floating up there a little bit, and Tesco also. We got a lot of people in here, so just come on in Altspace. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun in here. Also, all right, so let's take a look at what we got here. Let's start out with the grip button on the sides of the controllers here, right here and right here. Now, this is going to allow you to interact with your environment. This is how I'm holding this laser pointer, for example, by holding down the grip button. And if I want, I can switch it over to the other hand like that, right? Just like that by holding the grip buttons. And you're going to use this to grab like fireworks and basketballs, or if you're in the world beta building program, that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but it's pretty easy to do through your settings general menu, right? Once you have that enabled, this is going to enable you to build worlds with your own two hands, right? And when you are in the world editor, right, it's going to change the behavior of some of these buttons, right? It's kind of maybe that might make it seem a little more complicated. But when you're holding an item in the world editor, it's going to change the behavior of your right thumbstick. No longer is this going to just turn you around. So like, say like I go to turn while I'm gripping an object in the world editor, that object's going to get really big all of a sudden. Because when you move that controller from the thumbstick from left to right, it's going to change the scale or the size of the object. When you move it forward or back, it's going to push the object away from you, or it's going to pull it closer to you, right? All right. Now, while these are a lot of buttons, please keep in mind that some of these do the same thing, right? You're going to notice this select button here on your right controller, your right trigger, and if you have your left pointer enabled through your main menu, this select button on your left controller, they all do the same thing, so it's less to worry about. If everybody right now holds down your right controller on the trigger, right, you're going to move it through the audience, and you're going to notice that everybody's name tag appears above their head as you move your hand. And that's how I know everybody's name so quickly. That's how we know that we've got, Pete over here, we got Tay, we've got Sakuro, and if I'm messing up anyone's names, I'm sorry, I'm not really great at that. We got Ian right there, and we've got Real Gizmo. We got a lot of people here. It's a big audience today. I'm glad to see that. That's nice. All right, let's see what else we have here. We also have, if you hold down your left trigger here, whether you're walking or flying, you'll be walking along, right? And all of a sudden you'll speed up, right? And I can go down in the audience, right? And maybe we can make a giant circle together. We do this, we can maybe make a tornado or hurricane. Maybe we can make it rain. Let's a little whirlpool action going on here. If you get dizzy, you probably don't want to do this. Let's have a look here. How's everybody doing? Let me get a look. Let me get a look at a good idea of the shape going on here. How are we doing today? All right, guys, look, this is not, it's pretty organized. It's not really, it's more like track shape. It's kind of fading out. People probably getting dizzy. Not real. In a big crowd like this, I was expecting it to be a little bit more circular. All right, we're going to have to work on that. All right, let's see what else we have. Let's see, I lost my pointer. Oh, no, what do I do with my pointer? How do I point? I could use my hands. All right, cool. All right, it'll turn up as we go. Let's see, what else do we have here? All right, you're going to notice on the right and left controller, all right, the top raised up button, because apparently I've lost my pointer here. That's kind of unusual. Where is this thing? Oh, there it is. Oh, I found it. All right, cool. All right, so on your right and left controller, you're going to see the teleport button here and here. Right now, what you want to do is if you join me along this wall here, right, what you can do is if you hold down your teleport button, right, and the right controller, and you aim at the floor, you're going to see a circle on the floor. That's going to be your teleport target, right? And what you can do is you can aim across the room, right, and as soon as you let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room, just like that. Quick, teleport over to me while there's still time. All right, now if you hold down your left teleport button, what's really cool is you can aim right back from where we came from, right, and as soon as you let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room. Very nice. What else you can do is you can hold down both teleport buttons at the same time. Make an X on the floor. If you let go at the same time, boom, boom, zig and a zag, right? Pretty cool. Now, what you can also do, right, is you can, if you're standing here, right, facing the stage, and you go backwards and hold down your accelerator button, that's that left trigger, right, and teleport at the floor as you go. You can kind of do the Altspace moonwalk just like that. I hope that's not like a trademark violation. That would be bad. Maybe copyright infringement. Not good. One cool thing you can do, and I learned this very recently, a couple weeks ago or so. You always learn new stuff in Altspace. So I was doing a show, and as you probably noticed by now, I come into the audience an awful lot, right? And I come down, and the audience is, crowded around, they're all into it, right? And and I had to get up on stage, right? So what I did was, I never thought to do this before. I don't know why, but it was like a reflex. What I did was I put my hand over my head like this, and boom, I teleported backwards. Yes, you can do that. Or you can do a little left hand action like that, boom, just like that, right? It's pretty cool. And that's the kind of thing you're going to learn stuff as you go and as you become more comfortable, right? One time I was at the Universe, and back then it was held in a really large, world, and I was exploring it when it was over. I walked up to the edge, right? And I'm looking over the edge, and as I'm looking over, right, I fell. And as I'm falling, I look over, and there's this cliff over there, right? And as I aim at it, right, I teleport it right onto the cliff for safety, right? And that meant to me that I was finally getting a handle on the controllers because it was like a reflex, right? You didn't have to think about it. And you're going to get to that point, right, where you're still going to feel the plastic in your hands, right? But it's going to come a point where these eventually become your hands, right? You won't think how to do it. Like if I tell everybody, hey, everybody, look out that window, I won't think about how I'm pointing. I'll just do it. It takes more effort to actually explain it. And for those of you who don't know, if you hold down your grip button, you'll go into a point. So if you put both hands like this on a grip, you'll be pointing your hands like this, and everybody can give you a Brooklyn hello. I want to see this with a big sized crowd like this. This is nice. Everybody kind of go like that. Nobody? All right, cool. There we go. Nice. All right, now if you put your hands together like that, right, you can make the Altspace logo, hold it up high. Show me some Altspace pride. Everybody just hold it up nice and high. Let me see. Oh, that's awesome. That looks good. Altspace. All right, cool. Nice. If you twist it around together like this, you can kind of make a picture frame, right? It'd be cool if you could take a screenshot like this, or you squeeze that trigger to get a little shutter action. Be like, oh, you're a beautiful audience. Oh, you're doing great, audience. Oh, that's good. Very good. All right, very nice. What another thing you can do is you hold down your trigger buttons. Now you can give me 2 thumbs up like that, right? And you can maybe go like this, give me 2 thumbs down. Maybe I'm not doing such a good job, right? Maybe you don't know yet. Maybe you're undecided. Give you a little bit of both, just like that, right? Or maybe you can put them together like that. I don't know what this means. People do this to me sometimes. I think it looks kind of cool, kind of nice there, right? And this is the best way to pick stuff up. Like one of the first Quest times we ever had, people came up from the audience and they were going like this at a stage, right? I think they were talking about like our group name, Ravenhall, right? But, I don't know. I'm not sure. I just thought it looked cool. So I started doing it back. And then the whole room started doing it. Right. And that's the best way to learn stuff in here. If you see somebody doing something cool, you mirror the gesture. And after a while, all these gestures are going to become automatic, and you're going to kind of, make them your own. If you're holding down the grip and the trigger button in both hands, you got those 2 thumbs up. If you touch your thumbs to the buttons or the thumbstick without pushing down, your thumbs will go down. You can combine it into a cool dance move, right? You can go on like that. All right. And I'm told that this is not as cool as I think it is, but I like it. We'll keep on doing. All right, let's see what else we have here. We have, if you're having like a room scale experience, right? That menu wheel that's on your lower left? Occasionally when you walk out past that, right, and you leave it behind, for some reason, that's always when somebody asks you, hey, open your main menu. And you're going to be like, where is this thing? You're going to start looking around for it. You're like, I don't know where the thing is, right? And for some reason, that's like always behind you. This can get pretty annoying. But it's important to remember that on the Quest, main menu is in your hands at all times. All you have to do is press this flat button on your left controller down toward the bottom there, and your main menu is going to open up in front of you. As a matter of fact, you don't have to use that blue light triangle button at all ever again. I haven't used that thing in months. All I do when I want to open my menu is I flick my hand out like that, right? And the menu opens up. I flick my hand out again like that, and the menu closes again. You don't have to flick your hand like that. You just have to push that button. But I think that kind of adds a little bit of style to it, don't you think? Kind of nice, right? All right, cool. All right, let's see what else we have here. All right, that's oh yeah, this is important. All right, you're gonna notice when I first came into Altspace on a Quest, I went into the campfire, right? And I felt like I was, walking on air. I felt like it was a little bit, just it felt good, right? It's the Quest, come on. And I noticed the reason I felt like that is because I was floating this high off the ground, right? And that can happen. You're going to need to worry about your vertical height occasionally in Altspace, right? And if anybody's willing to change your vertical height for me so we can demonstrate this, come up towards the stage here and kind of either float up or sink down, like we got UFO Robot here or UFO Robot. What you want to do, if you press down on your left thumbstick, show everybody what happens when you press down on that. Right, press down on the left and boom, just like that. So when your vertical height changes, if you feel too tall, you feel too short, all you have to do is press down on that left thumbstick like it's a button, and you're going to recenter. The important thing to keep in mind is that this motion is attached to your head. So if you're looking down, like, kind of verify it's working, and you're looking down, you press down on it, you notice I lift it up slightly. So you want to make sure that you're looking straight ahead when you press this, because you're looking straight ahead and then press down, boom, and your feet are nice on the ground. While we still have legs. I hear we're getting some new avatars, and I heard, might be some kind of accident involving our legs. I'm really kind of not sure how that's going to go. All right, let's see what else do we have here. All right, now there's another important button. Do not press it now because if you disappear, I am going to feel it. All right, but it is on the right controller. You've got this bottom button. You got to think of this as an eject button. All right, so when you want to leave Altspace, this is the best way out. If somebody comes in your space and says, "Hey, dinner's ready," something important like that, and you got to go, you're like, "Gotta go," and you hit that bottom button there, and you'll head on out, and you'll see a quit or resume button on your main screen. You hit quit, the app will close. Right? If you press it by accident, like maybe, Yunji's dancing, you're doing during Yunjiverse, and it's going like really well, and you're dancing around, and all of a sudden you hit that button by accident, and now you're at the Oculus main menu. What do? You hit that resume button, you get brought right back in Altspace, be like you never left, right? And nobody will even notice, and Yunji won't destroy you with her awesome admin powers. We want to see that happen. All right, but that's also a good button to press when things go wrong. All right, and what I mean by this is, let's say, for example, you're in Altspace, you're hanging out with your friends, and all of a sudden you turn your head and the whole world moves with you, and that can make you feel kind of dizzy, can make you feel kind of sick, right? You're going to need to act quick. All you do is press that flat button on the right controller, you press, quit, you restart the app, you come back in, and it's going to solve most of your problems, right? But occasionally, something a little bit more serious might happen, where, like, let's say, you look to the left, and all of a sudden there's a black void on the edge of the screen. You're like, oh no, it's the void. And you look to the right, you look up, you look down, and there's like a black edge all around your screen. You're like, oh no, the void is spreading, and all your friends are like frozen like this, right? And something serious is going on, right? So you press that flat button on the right controller, and nothing happens. You're like, Michael Forrest lied to me, right? That's not what's going on. All right, your device might be frozen. It's not just Altspace. This happens in other apps too. How do you deal with it, right? Well, you're going to have to know how to restart your headset, right? But when I first got my Quest, I would take my headset off to restart it. And, if it's not in a charge cycle and you have it plugged in and that light's not on, it takes about 20-something seconds to do this. And you might get the feeling like I did that your device is broken. And that's why it pays to know how to restart your headset while it's still on your head. And the way you do this is you take your index finger, right? And you swipe it along the right side of your device, right on the outside. You're going to feel that raised up power button, right? And when you take your other index finger to the other side there and you squeeze your fingers together against it, right? Counter pressure, right? And then I find it helps to look down like you're in a deep concentration pose. And after about 4 seconds, you concentrate so hard that you disappear and you get plunged into the darkness, right? Your avatar just disappears because you're concentrating so hard. And after about 10 seconds, you start wondering, why did Oculus make this take so long? It's kind of annoying. And then after about 15 seconds, you start thinking about friends you haven't seen in a while. You wonder how they're doing. After about 20 seconds, right, you start thinking about life. You start asking the big questions. And then 20-something seconds, the Oculus logo emerges out of the darkness like the bat signal, and all of a sudden, it starts to pulse. And when it starts pulsing, take your fingers away just like that, right? And your device will start as normal, and this is going to solve most of the problems that you're going to have, not just in Altspace, but in other apps as well, all right? So, that should take care of most of the problems you're going to have, but very occasionally something more serious might happen, right? And that's why it pays to know about a factory reset. What can happen is, and you got to keep this in mind, because like one time I come out of Altspace, and there's a blue button there that said okay, and the message said Oculus Home is closing, and I'm like, okay, that's never happened before, but the only option was okay, so I pressed okay. You know what happened, right? The screen just said loading, right? So I did my deep concentration pose, right? And then the device restarted and the screen just said loading. So something serious was going on. So I came to VR and I asked my good friend Google about it. Google and I go back, and Google usually has all the answers. And Google said a lot of people were having this problem. The best thing I could do was a factory reset. But when you do a factory reset, you're going to have to re-download all your apps. Good news, you won't have to pay for them again. But it's going to be like putting your headset back the way it was the day it arrived, right? And this means you're going to lose all your settings, and it's very serious business because you might even lose your Beat Saber scores. Okay? All right, so only use this in an emergency. Also, if you have any pictures saved, you're going to lose those too. So this is serious business, but you need to know that it's an option. All right, let's see what else do we have here. Okay, now if you're here today, right, you're already familiar with your Guardian system, right? You did the tour when you first got your Quest. You danced with the robot, right? You played, the remote control blimp. It was a good time. So you're already familiar with that, but you may not know is how to use the Guardian system to your advantage in Altspace. Earlier, I mentioned getting dizzy when we're doing that big circle thing, right? We're running around the room like that, right? Some of you might have felt a little bit dizzy, right? If you experience dizziness, or even if you're not on the Quest, one great way to deal with this is to take a look at your hand like this and focus on your hand, right? And when you're looking at your hand like this, you kind of stare at it until the dizziness passes, and then slowly take your hand away and then take in the world around you. That can really help. But you can also use your Guardian system for this purpose too. Now, when you move around the Guardian system, please keep in mind, always be careful, kind of lead with your hands, especially if you're new to VR and you're not used to the space that you're in, all right? You're going to see a lot of times in Altspace, people will be walking around like this, and all of a sudden, boom, they hit a wall, right? You don't want to damage your device. You certainly don't want to hurt yourself, right? So always kind of lead with your hands. And when you do, when you get to the edge of your area, you're going to see that grid appear in the air, right? Like grid that's there, right? Your hands are setting off. That's cool, right? Now, what you can do is if you go up to the edge like that, you're going to find that while you're holding your hands out and you got that grid in front of you, you could still move your thumbsticks around in VR, right? So you're still moving your thumbsticks and your avatar is moving in VR while your real world is, person standing still. So if I walk up to my real world wall right now, got my hands out, right? My grid appears, and now I can move my thumbstick. So I can slide my avatar back here like this, but I'm standing still in the real world, right? And then I can line up my grid with this display here. And I'm kind of like anchored onto it. It's sort of like a reality anchor. So as I move away from the screen and I'm moving away from my wall, maybe I go a little bit too far. Maybe I fall off the stage. Maybe I fell in the audience, right? And maybe you guys aren't too friendly. Maybe you guys want to like stick your hands in my face, try to make me dizzy, give me the worst you have. Now, if I'm looking straight ahead at the screen, no matter what you guys do, as long as I can see that screen, I'm not going to lose my focus. I'm not going to lose my words. I'm not going to lose my place. This is not a problem for me. You guys aren't even trying. Well, you guys are a nice crowd. Usually you guys are a lot more rough. You're very polite, very nice. As long as I can see that display, I'm not going to get dizzy because I feel connected to the real world. It doesn't have to be something big like the screen. Let's say that you have a table or a desk in your VR space, right? If you can line it up with the edge of the stage, right, you're going to have a frame of reference to connect to, and it's going to make you feel a lot less dizzy if you experience dizziness in VR. Okay. Another thing you got to remember is that you can transition from a room scale to a stationary experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace, right? So, like, let's say I'm up here and I'm like, you know what? I've done over 300 events in Altspace. I got to tell you guys, I'm really tired. It's hard, man. It's just starting to get to me. What I can do, right, is I can go up to the edge of my, my space there, right? Stick my hands out. Or if you guys are trying a new experimental feature, have you guys tried this yet? That pass through, where you can do that double tap on the side of the device. You go tap, tap, and all of a sudden your pass through camera goes off and you can see the real world, right? And I can look, I got my coffee right here, take a sip of my coffee, throw down the mug because I'm a rebel like that. And then I look on over and I see I got the chair over there. And I'm like, oh, good, that chair, right? So I walk on over to my chair, and I'm turning around, I sit down in it, and then there's that blue button that says I want to have a stationary experience. I press on that button. And what I can do now, right, is, I press that, say that I want to have a stationary experience. And then all of a sudden the grid will come up. And you know what? I'll find not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never left. And this works in the other direction too. Right? Let's say that, there was this one time that I was moderating an event, right? And I was, and I felt like getting up and walking around. And I figured, oh, no big deal. I'll just get up and step into my, my Guardian system and, everything be fine. So I get up. Now, occasionally the Quest is going to lose your Guardian system because of changing light levels, or for one reason or another, your device can't resolve where it is. And it figures, hey, you can just draw another boundary for me. No big deal. But you know what? When there's 2 minutes left in the event, it's a very big deal. So I start to panic. I start drawing out my boundary, right? And I'm like, oh no, why is my place so large? I don't know what I'm going to do. Lord, I don't know why I had to pick of all the days today. Why do I have to moderate for an admin? I don't know. And then all of a sudden, as I close the loop, the grid comes up out of the ground and I find not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never left. All anybody saw was my avatar frozen like this. Now, I always pause there. And one time I actually lost my internet connection, right? My avatar was still like this, right? And the audience is like, wow, look at him. He's very invested in the role. He's very dedicated. I can't even believe that he's just so into it, right? He's got range, right? So what that can happen there, right, is so like your avatar will just appear to be frozen, and when you come back in, you'll be right there, and then you start to move around again, and nobody will really know you were gone, So you can basically transition between a room scale to a stationary experience pretty easily. Also, let's see what else do we have with that. Oh yeah, this is cool. This is not useful at all. This is just cool. If you go up to the edge of your play space, and you stick your head, like, first of all, lead with your hands, make sure you have enough room to stick your head, through the Guardian. But when you get to the edge of the Guardian like that, you stick your head through it, the pass-through camera goes off and you see the real world, right? If you do this super slow, there's a sweet spot in there where you're going to see both realities at the same time. And this is really cool because this will enable you to see Altspace avatars in your space in the real world. And this is going to give you a sense of the scale of the size of the avatars in Altspace. You're going to find that they're about 6 feet tall and they're a lot more wide than you would think. And this doesn't really register until you see them in a familiar environment, like your living room or your office or wherever you guys VR from. When you see the Altspace avatars in that environment, you're going to get a real sense of the size. And it's not useful. It's just fun to do. It's cool to see your friends like actually standing in your living room, like your avatar friends out there, and see them in your actual home space, right? Now, the great thing about the Quest is it just works. Now, there's a lot of variety of, it doesn't mean it can't work better. There's a variety of accessories that can really enhance the experience. Like, those earbuds they have that kind of hang down from the sides. Now, I don't know what I look like when I'm in VR, but I like to think when I got these things on, I look fancy, right? Because like, kind of VR earrings or something, right? And, you put them in your ears there. And, I had gotten used to how great the sound is on the Quest. There's no real feedback. It's a great sound experience. It's very rich, very full sound. And so I wasn't expecting much. But I put these on and I go to the campfire. And, I couldn't believe it, right? Did you guys know there was a breeze in the campfire? Nobody told me this. I walked over to that fence area. I heard the water rushing on by there. And I didn't know. that sound was there either. It turns out there's a lot of like rich ambient sound available in Altspace that can make it a much more immersive experience, and in that way, like it really kind of pull you in more, which is really nice because being here is sort of what it's all about, right? And also if listen, a lot of people say the Quest is uncomfortable. All right, I think a lot of people have this impression, and Oculus does not advertise this enough. But there's a breaking in here. I actually know some people that have actually returned their Quest because that they felt it was uncomfortable. All right, and the reason for this is because when you first get the device, it can be a little uncomfortable because there's a breaking in period. It takes about I'd say about a week or so to really for the device to break in. And the problem is people will wear this and they'll be like, wow, that's really uncomfortable. And for me, I developed like a sore on my forehead from using it. And what you'll find is like after about a week or so of use, the oils in your face will actually soften the materials of the insert, and the springs will kind of like loosen the tension a little bit, and the device is going to become more comfortable. The problem is people early on will say, oh, this is uncomfortable, and they'll start getting accessories for the device like counterbalances, external battery packs, and things like that to shift the weight around to make it more comfortable. But then after a week or so, when it gets broken in, the balance is going to shift again, right? And they're going to be like, well, this thing just isn't comfortable at all, right? So I would advise against any kind of, balance changing accessories until the device is fully broken in. Right. And then if you still find it's uncomfortable and you want to, change it up a little bit, there's a variety of accessories that can help you, like I mentioned, with the external battery packs and stuff like that, or these inserts from VR Cover. Right. They're great because there's two of them. Right. You can be washing one while the other one's in use. And this way, it's more hygienic, especially now. It's like really important with all that stuff going on in the world. Right. It's made by a company called VR Cover. You also have these, these inserts for prescription inserts if you wear glasses. Because listen, if you scratch your eyeglasses and your VR, lenses, that could get pretty expensive. Right. So these prescription inserts can kind of help prevent that. If you're wearing glasses, can make a much more comfortable experience. At that point, I hear the most difficult part of that is remembering to take your glasses off before you put your headset on. That can get annoying before that becomes a habit. Another thing you can do is, speaking of protecting your headset, listen, you do want to keep it safe if you can, because listen, the box the Quest comes in is great. All right, it really is. There's like, if you leave your Quest on the counter, and the sunlight comes into the window, the sunlight can damage your device, and you want to make sure you store it well when it's not in use. This way nothing happens to it, because if if something happens to your device, it's not going to be like losing your toaster or something like that, right? It's not going to be like losing another appliance, because if you're spending a lot of time in VR and you've made friends in here, right, you're going to be like, oh no, I'm never gonna see Ian again. What am I going to do? And people, that's got a really good experience. It has an actual loss. So take good care of your device. If you want to try in these accessories, they're easy to find. Or you go to altvr.com. In the upper left, you're going to see where it says channels. And you can see down toward the bottom of the page, Ravenhole events, like it says in the sound booth up there. Right. And when you click on that, you get taken to our event page. And on our event page, you're going to notice all these products on the left-hand side listed there if you want to try any of them out. Also, you'll see the join Discord button if you want to, say hello, or you want to help us put events on like this, or maybe you have a question or something. We'd be happy to help out. Also, in the upper right is the most important button on the internet. It's true. That's where they keep it. It's the subscribe button. All right. And if you press that, it lets Altspace know that you enjoy our content. Right. Which is great. And it's a great way to say thank you, because we don't get paid to do this. So every time we see that number go up, we feel good. It makes us feel almost as good as when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we like that too. And for those of you out on YouTube, if you want to try in these products, you'll find them in the links below, the links in the description below. I can use saying that and do a little backwards. That's not cool. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to be taking your questions now. So or your comments or anything like that. And maybe you tried one of these accessories. Maybe you tried one I haven't mentioned, and you want to talk about it, you can. So you're going to notice a raise hand button appear as if by magic on your lower right. That's what magic looks like in VR. And if you press on that, you're going to get on our list, and we'll be able to call on you and take your questions, right? And while we're waiting for that to fill up, if you want to, if you're on Twitter and want to find us there, you'll find us at _ Uncanny Valley. I realize that looks like one underscore, but it is actually two. All right, let's see. Who do we have here? We have Oof Robot. How's it going, Oof? Let's see. You are on the air, and I get to feel like a radio host. How's it going, Oof? What's going on?
Okay, so this is a comment, not a question.
Okay. Is it positive? Is it positive?
Yes, it's positive. It's positive.
All right.
My Beat Saber scores. No.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, let's see. Who else do we have? We have Snox Nix, or I don't know if I'm saying it right. I can't see the full name. Where is that? Let's see here. You're on the air, Snox. I'm just going to play Snox. It's probably easier. Where are you? Snox? Speak to me. Where are you? I don't see you. Where you go? There you are, in the red. What's going on?
Shrub about.
Okay, well, this is a really complicated story. We're kind of a little bit out of time here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell us real quick. On our last set, when we first started Quest Time, it was in another space. And next to the stage, you saw this shrub there. And it had like eyes in one event. It had a VR cover on in another. And we called them Shrub. And we'd, hold it, use them to hold my tools and stuff. But then one day, problem with the set, and the admins told us we had to get a new one because it became corrupted when we came here, and Shrub was gone, and we haven't seen him since. And we looked for him at first, so we put up this missing poster, and then we left the poster up because now it's just because we're really missing Shrub. A lot of us asked for him, so let's maybe we'll devote this episode today to Shrub, and all the good people. All right, let's see. Now, if you do have any more questions that I haven't called on you, don't feel bad. What we're going to do right now is we are going to be going to another space. If you're interested in learning how to fly in Altspace, we have a really cool event. We have this red Talon call button. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to push this, right? I'm going to take the stage blockers off here. I'm going to unmute everybody, right? So you can speak freely if you want to, right? We're going to press this button, and this is going to take us off to Ravenhall Flight Academy. When we press this, a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft is going to fly down the street. You're going to see it pass by this window. It's going to go up, over the trees there and land in that yard area. And when it does, we're going to take it out, all right? We're going to press this now. Everybody on three, push this button. Everybody give me a little help because it sticks. 1, 2, 3, push.
Ravenhall
There we
Talon
go. Awesome. Look out
aircraft en
the
route
window,
to
everybody.
your
Look out the window.
position.
Check it out. There it goes. There it goes. Now come on, everybody. Let's go. Let's catch it. Let's go head out. Right. We're gonna go in the yard. Let's run. All right, we're gonna catch it. All right, let's go. All right. Now, if you've learned anything here today, please share it with all those you come in contact with. If somebody's standing there and they're down low and you're like, "What's wrong with a buddy?" And you're like, "I'm on a quest. I'm stuck on the ground. What do I do?" You tell them to press that left thumbstick down. They'll pop up and they'll feel better. You feel better because you helped somebody. Right. So let's head on out here. Here we go. It's coming down.
Talon aircraft is
right?
now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. You've been a great audience. I'll see you next time.